Now, from Hilo to Honolulu, live, local, late breaking, this is News 8 at 10.
We really need to find a different way to do the fireworks.
Firework fizzle, a Kailua tradition canceled. So will the display be moved back to Flat Island? Tonight, the community speaks out. Good evening. At this time last night, thousands of disappointed fireworks fans were heading home.
Bad weather forced the Kailua Chamber of Commerce to call off its fireworks spectacular, and tonight we wanted to know what should be done about it. The night team's Stephanie Lum has the story now from the windward side. Stephanie?
Residents in the Kailua area are sure about one thing tonight. They all want the annual 4th of July show to continue. But when it comes to the issue of whether to use Flat Island as a launching pad, feelings are mixed. The buzz in Kailua town tonight, the cancellation of last night's fireworks show.
It's the one thing that Kailua has and we've had for, I think, over 50 years.
And Kailua residents Judy Matthews and Debbie Rexroth say if continuing the tradition means launching the fireworks off a bird sanctuary, then so be it.
We don't need a very big space on Flat Island, and it's not as if we use the island for anything else all year.
I can't believe that it is that bad, that damaging to the birds and the eggs. They've done it for 50-some years, and the birds still survive to this day.
Strong winds made it dangerous to light fireworks from a barge off Kailua Beach last night, so officials are now considering using Flat Island again.
20 feet by 30 feet, something like that. And we could put deck on it or something so that the birds can't nest there, and that's just a little piece of the island.
But to this Kailua family, that's not a good idea.
There's too many areas that, we've pushed all of the wildlife that is off, and we might as well leave that one for them at least.
Whatever the decision, Kailua residents just hope the show doesn't move anywhere else.
The backdrop, the ocean, the sky, as the sun goes down, it's perfect. I can't think of anywhere else in Kailua that we'd want to go.
Whether the fireworks will be launched off of Flat Island next year will be ultimately decided by the Kailua Chamber of Commerce. Reporting in Kailua, Stephanie Lum, News 8.
And that brings us to tonight's Interactive 8 web poll question. What should be done with the Kailua fireworks display? Keep it on the barge, move it back to Flat Island, or move it to the beach? To voice your opinion, just log on to our website at KHNL.com.
And this afternoon, firefighters were cleaning up after a brush with danger in Mililani. The fire broke out above Mililani Mauka Middle School just after 2 o'clock. This is home video of that fire. Firefighters extinguished the blaze at about 6:45 this evening. Investigators say youngsters playing with fireworks likely started that fire. And fire investigators say there were 29 fireworks-related fires yesterday and 17 trash can fires. That's slightly above last year's numbers.
A developing story on the leeward side of Oahu. Fire crews asking for your help tonight to locate a missing kite surfer. The surfer disappeared in waters off Waialua. Authorities found the kite near Mokuleia, but there's no sign of the surfer. The kite is neon green with yellow stripes and black lettering. It's possible the kite surfer came to shore and is not in trouble, but rescue teams need to know that for sure. If you have any information, you're being asked to call 911. There was fire on the water at Waikiki this morning as 3 boats went up in flames, and authorities say it was no accident. It happened at the Waikiki Yacht Club at around 5 this morning. Firefighters say an arsonist is to blame. No one was living aboard the 3 boats, but people were aboard nearby vessels.
Everyone down here is very shocked, absolutely. We don't have this kind of thing. I've been a member since I was 10 years old, and this has never happened.
Each of the 3 boats had several $1,000s damaged. The fires were in the interior cabins of the boats. All 3 are still seaworthy.
We've been tracking Typhoon Chata'an all week long. The vicious storm killed dozens as it swept across the Pacific. Meteorologist Paul Drews joins us now with more. Paul?
Well, Jody, this typhoon tracked across 2 islands, one prepared for the worst and one expecting just a minor tropical storm. But as can often happen with tropical cyclones, the unexpected can be deadly. We've got some first pictures of the storm and stories from survivors about what happened with this tropical terror. An early morning flight arrives in Hawaii carrying weary residents from Micronesia, passengers who left the devastation of Typhoon Chata'an behind. But even though they're no longer on Chuuk, They cannot get the painful images of death and destruction out of their minds.
Some people were staying in their house not knowing that the flooding will affect their house. The dirt come down and cover up their house.
Chata'an was only a tropical storm as it moved over Chuuk, but the heavy rains caused mudslides, killing 37 people and injuring 50 others. The Chief Justice of Chuuk gave out grim details of an island unprepared for the storm's strength.
But they were shocked when they reported that some people were under the dirt, and there's no heavy equipment on that island to lifting up some of these things there.
After flooding Chuuk, Chata'an hit Guam as a typhoon with winds over 100 miles an hour, knocking out power and destroying hundreds of homes. These pictures were taken today as residents began to pick up the pieces. They now deal with an island damaged by flooding rains and battered by winds and surf. Chata'an leaves a path of destruction on Guam, but fortunately does not claim any more lives. And a powerful typhoon, Chata'an, continues to track to the northwest, aiming toward Okinawa, but it is expected to make a turn to the northeast over the next 72 hours, so we will keep tracking this storm.
Two new developments tonight as the 2002 Hawaii election season moves into high gear. The first is a bit of a shock. Former city managing director Bob Fishman announced today he is running for a city council seat. He will run for District 4. That seat is held by Duke Bainum. Bainum's term is expiring. Congresswoman Patsy Mink today filed for re-election. She served 12 terms in the U.S. House of Representatives. And Representative Neil Abercrombie also filed today. He's seeking his 7th term. So far, Mink and Abercrombie are running unopposed in their respective Democratic primary races.
In news beyond Hawaii tonight, the FBI says a gunman who killed 2 people at the Los Angeles International Airport yesterday went there intending to kill. Hisham Mohammed Hadayet was armed with a knife, 2 handguns, and extra ammunition. The FBI is interviewing relatives of the Egyptian-born man, including his wife, who lives in Egypt. The FBI has not figured out a motive for this tragedy. Airport security killed the gunman. And they called him the greatest hitter of all time. Baseball legend Ted Williams died of a heart attack today at a Florida hospital. Williams was the last player to hit 400. He also hit 521 home runs, despite 2 interruptions in his career to serve in the World War II and the Korean War. But tonight his legend lives.
This was in the living room of the house. And it just goes to show you how strong these waters were, because this fish, its habitat is the water, and it died in its own habitat. The waters were so strong.
Major League Baseball came to a standstill tonight. I apologize for that technical error. It came to a standstill in honor of a great player who helped make the game of baseball so great. And one of the greatest voices in sports, Les Kiter, sat with us to share his memories. Boston's famed Fenway Park, where the crack of Ted Williams' bat hasn't been heard in more than 4 decades, fell silent tonight to honor the splendid splinter. Ted Williams will always be known as the greatest hitter of all time, but as Les Kiter can attest, he'll also be remembered as the cranky, single-minded, stubborn man who expected perfection.
Ted Williams was a man who did everything his own way. He refused to tip his cap when he ran around the bases in Boston after hitting a home run. He feuded with the media. In fact, the year he hit over 400, his own sports writers in Boston refused to vote for him to the All-Star team.
A career .344 hitter, Williams is the last player to finish the season with a .400 batting average. And that was 6 decades ago. And he hit for power, blasting 521 home runs. When it comes to baseball, there are few equals.
When I was inducted in the Hall of Fame in 1999, when we walked into the museum in Cooperstown, New York, there are just 2 pictures from ceiling to floor. One is Babe Ruth and the other is Ted Williams.
And as is the stuff of legends, Williams smacked a home run at Fenway Park back in 1960 at his final Major League appearance.
Here goes the greatest hitter who ever lived.
The splendid splinter, Ted Williams, was 83. Reporting live, Marvin Brinkensejo, News 8.
Thanks, Marv. Still to come on News 8 at 10, we'll take you on location to Bruce Willis's latest movie.
It's being shot right here in Hawaii. Plus, it's a coffee shop that serves up some mean fried rice. We're heading to the windward side for tonight's Cheap Eats.
And why a new law may change the print on that bag of Java. But first, a look at some stories you'll find in tomorrow's Honolulu Advertiser. Learning to nap is good for you.
Elderly housing comes up short in Hawaii.
And a long-awaited 1-mile stretch of Honolulu roadway is nearly complete, but it took more than 4 years to finish. News 8 at 10. We'll be right back.
Think it? Do it. With Dodge Durango SXT. V8 power at a price no other SUV can touch. Kickin' CD sound system, big wheels and tires, and roof rack. All for around $24,500. Better get it in gear. Grab Dodge's 7/100 powertrain pledge, plus cash allowance or low financing. Ford, GM, Toyota, and Honda don't match this.
Exercise. Hey, you gotta start somewhere. Start living healthy. A message from your Hawaii Department of Health.
Want to start living healthy? Then get in the games, the Aloha State Games. It's a great way to have fun, get healthy, and compete in your favorite sport. Just call, log on, or visit any Jamba Juice for registration information.
Tom Hanks and Paul Newman star in DreamWorks Pictures' Road to Perdition. Michael O'Sullivan leads a double life, one as a devoted husband and father, the other as the mom's top hitman. But when those worlds collide, taking the lives of his wife and younger son, O'Sullivan and his surviving son embark on a journey of revenge. Log on to K5.com for your chance to win tickets to the special advanced screening. Presented by KSSK, News 8, and K5, the home team.
Lucky You Live Hawaii travels to the windward side this week to the town of Kailua. That's where Sam and I found a place so popular they had to open a second location just a few blocks away. You can't talk about cheap eats in Kailua without talking about Time's Coffee Shop. The first location on Oniava Street opened 20 years ago. This one on Hamakua Drive opened in 1996. You know, Sam, when I think of fried rice, the first place I think of is Sam Choi's Breakfast, Lunch, and Crab.
Hey, but when you're on the windward side, man, we're talking Time's Coffee Shop in Kailua.
That's right. The one thing Times is known for is its fried rice. Bacon, spam, sausage, lots of rice, and their special sauce. They also have sandwiches starting at around $2.50. Plate lunches are $6.50. Sam's in the kitchen watching them whip up some hamburger steak.
Wow, that's a big hamburger steak, boy. And one per order, right?
2, of course.
Huh?
2 patties.
To one order?
Yep. 2 patties to one order.
2 patties for one order. Wow.
And it's all topped off with gravy.
Time's Coffee Shop, man. Unbelievable cheap eats right here.
Time's owner, Samson Lowe, says the secret to Time's success is simple.
You've got to give the customer good service, good quality, and good price. That's all.
And for folks in Kailua, Times does that and more.
Everything here is excellent, man. The roast beef, the chopped steak, the breakfast is huge.
Oh, I come here 3-4 times a week, mostly breakfast, and it's excellent.
Well, Sam, here we are at Cheap Eats Windward style.
Hey, you know what? I grew up on the windward side, and you know what? They do it big out here.
I'm having this huge half order of fried rice for $3.75. Sam chose the salmon sandwich special. You know what? It's time to eat.
Cheap Eats.
Cheap Eats.
On the windward side.
That's at Time's Coffee Shop in Kailua.
Follow this. Good. Very good.
That's eating with style, isn't it? Time's Coffee Shop in Kailua, 2 locations, one on Oniava Street, the other on Hamakua Drive. When you stop in, you must try the fried rice. And if you know of a place that has great food at a reasonable price, let us know about it. Drop me an email by logging on to our website at KHNL.com and clicking on Cheap Eats. Who knows, maybe one day Sam and I will show up for lunch.
How much bean for your buck are you getting in every bag of coffee? A new law will ensure coffee producers spell out the exact percentage of Hawaii-grown coffee in every bag. Hawaii's coffee growers complain the labeling may be misleading, though. For example, this bag says Kona coffee 100%, but the fine print reads not less than 10% Kona coffee.
It's going to create consumer awareness as to what it actually is that the consumer's buying, because now there's a perception that they're purchasing Hawaiian coffee, and the realization is in most cases it's only a 10% component Hawaii coffee.
Coffee producers have a one-year grace period to comply with that law.
Coming up on News 8 at 10, weather with Paul Drews.
Plus Hawaii or jolly old England. Who has the largest maze? We'll compare.
But first, a quick look at one of our neighborhood school met locations, Lanakila Baptist School, where the temperature is 75 degrees.
And a positive day for local stocks. News 8 at 10. We'll be right back.
They said define the term overstock. I'm in the middle of 500 tons of used cars. Overstocked is an understatement. Hi, Frank here, the used car guy at McKennis. To cut a massive inventory, we're throwing a super sales fest. I've got a whole block of late model Volkswagens. Buy one risk-free with a 30-day satisfaction guaranteed and a warranty. No one else has that. A sharp VW Beetle is just $85 down and $236 a month. I'll be here at McKenna's in Kailua.
Lucky you live Hawaii. Support your community. Support local business.
Paint your own ceramics at Paint It Pottery, a paint-your-own ceramic studio and gift shop. Mention this ad and receive $5 off any purchase of $40 or more at Paint It Pottery. And shop the Global Village, apparel, beads, jewelry, and gifts from around the globe. Visit us in the Kailua Village shops across from the post office. The Global Village. Lucky you live Hawaii.
Meet Todd. He is a careful driver. He follows the speed limit. He stops at stop signs. He signals before he changes lanes. In fact, Todd thinks that because he is such a good driver, he doesn't need to wear his seatbelt. Unfortunately, Todd isn't the only driver on the road.
Always buckle up.
On the next Hot Hawaiian Nights Hanaho, enjoy the music of multi-Hoku Award winner Kealihi Rochelle. Monday night at 6:30 on K5, the home team.
Live, local, late breaking. You're watching News 8 at 10.
Hawaii's maze craze has spread around the world. In fact, we may no longer have the world's biggest maze. The Dole Maze in Wahiawa has been the world's largest maze since it was built in 1997. It's an amazing 1.7 miles long, and it has a place in the Guinness Book of World Records. But it looks like we now have a serious challenger. A new maze, 16 acres, has opened in Christchurch, England. It consists of 3 entwined mazes, each more difficult to complete than the last. No word yet on whether it will replace Hawaii in the Guinness Book.
What's also pretty amazing is that our weekend will still have these breezy trade winds. Now, normally for summertime, the trades turn off and the humidity creeps on up and we have plenty of hot temperatures. But we're not going to see that for this weekend. That's because breezy trade winds are coming in and knocking out that humidity down to lower, more comfortable levels and also keeping us cool. Temperatures mainly staying in the mid-80s for the next few days. And while we'll have some sunshine, we'll also periodically have some of those high clouds. Again, continuing to stream up over the islands, now over the southern end of the island chain. Those may thin out a bit over the next 2 days, but they may block a little bit of the sunshine for our Saturday. And as we look ahead to this evening, this is what we have in store for the rest of the night. Again, a breezy evening. Those trade winds still hovering at 15 to 25 miles an hour. And we'll see mainly windward clouds and mostly dry conditions, even for those windward and Malca spots. Although we may get a few light overnight light sprinkles, we're not expecting a whole lot in the way of rain. And for tomorrow, that's pretty much the case as well. Early morning showers for some windward spots like the eastern side of the Big Island, then partly to mostly cloudy skies. Again, the chance of some of these high clouds up and over the islands, but leeward sides will have a bit more sunshine and we'll all have those breezy winds. 15 to 25 mile an hour winds for tomorrow. Again, some spots around the state could still be a bit breezier. And because those winds still up, our eastern shores in the 2 to 4 foot range, but that's not the biggest surf that we'll see for tomorrow because our southern shores are seeing an increase. Maybe a few 5-footers rolling in for our southern beaches. Our west sides may also get a little bit of that southerly wrap, so we'll say 1 to 3 feet for tomorrow. North shore is pretty much just flat to a foot for tomorrow as well. And because those winds are up, cautions are still posted for our mariners. And here's a look ahead at the next 5 days. Again, those winds hovering at 15 to 25 miles an hour. And while we may see a dip in the winds early next week, it won't be for long. Those winds will pick back up by midweek next week, back up to at least the 15 to 25 mile an hour range. But as you can see, over the next 5 days, we will have lots of sunshine, fairly warm temperatures, although it's still not quite summer.
All right. Thanks a lot,
you, Paul.
Paul. Sports is coming up next.
We'll have more on the passing of a legend. Celebrating athletic achievement at the University of Hawaii, Rainbow Wahine and Warrior Sports on K5, the home team.
Mike McKenna's assembled tons of trucks, new Ford trucks for his semi-annual across-the-board all-trucks clearance sale. Brand new Ford Ranger trucks. You can buy one now $4,000 below the manufacturer's price. Put down just $85 with $239 a month, and you've got a Ranger. A big Ford F-Series regular cab, $4,200 below manufacturer's price. That's right, $4,200 below. Buy an F-Series with $85 cash down. Get to McKenna's in Kailua. It's all Ford trucks this week.
These islands and the Hawaiian culture that grew from them are precious resources from which we all benefit in some way. Moanalua Gardens Foundation was established in 1970 to preserve and perpetuate Hawaii's culture and environment through education. But we need your help. Moanalua Gardens Foundation is not financially independent and relies entirely on outside support for survival. For more information about Moanalua Gardens Foundation, please call today. Mahalo.
Live, local, late breaking. You're watching News 8 at 10.
Welcome back, everyone. From 1939 to 1960, Ted Williams was the heart and soul of the Boston Red Sox, bringing fans to their feet. And today, fans rose up again, this time to pay their last respects to the man known as the Splendid Splinter. Ted Williams dead at the age of 83. In his 19 seasons with the Red Sox, Williams struck fear in opposing pitchers whenever he came to the plate, a lifetime .344 hitter with 521 home runs. Williams was twice named MVP. He also had a strong commitment to his country, leaving baseball for 3 years to enlist in the Marine Corps during World War II.
I remember 3 years ago at the All-Star game when Ted Williams was honored and threw out the first pitch. But after he did that, he was mobbed by all of the baseball stars of today because he is so revered as the years have gone on.
This evening, fans and players at Boston's Fenway Park paused for a moment of silence to pay tribute to the Hall of Fame left fielder. Unfortunately, Williams' former team couldn't get things going against the Tigers, top of the sixth, with the bases juiced. Ramon Santiago is going to help clear them with a 2-run single to right as Detroit downs Boston 9-4. A couple of great defensive plays between the Pirates and the Astros. Rob McCowiak sends a grounder to first. Jeff Bagwell can't make the routine play, so instead he gets a little creative. The flip between the legs to pitcher Tim Redding for the out. Later, bottom of the fifth, bases loaded, the single to center. Brian Giles trying to beat it home, but instead he nails Greg Zahn in the gut for his troubles. Giles is out, but his Pirates do win 4-3. Royals and the A's now, and here's something you don't see every day. Terrence Long fouls off the pitch, and watch where it ends up. Off the railing, off a kid's glove, and right into this man's cup of beer. Hey, who needs leather to catch a souvenir? Well, good luck catching this one in a plastic cup as David Justice rips it long and gone to right, helps Oakland to the 4-3 win. At Wimbledon, men's semifinals got underway today. Top seed Leighton Hewitt trying to advance to the finals for the first time, but standing in his way, hometown favorite and 4 seed Tim Henman. First set, Henman serving in the far court. He's going to send a tapper over the net. Hewitt showing some hustle for the return, but Henman sending it right back at you for the point. But Hewitt would respond. Henman, the cross-court backhand shot. Not today. An unbelievable effort by Hewitt to knock it back and just get it within the line. Then on match point, the fireball ace down the center of the court ends it all. Hewitt takes it in straight sets, 7-5, 6-1, and 7-5. First round action from the Canada Senior Open, and the long ball dropping all day long. Gar Hamilton on 18 drains it for birdie. He finished at -6. Not to be outdone, Wayne McDonald for eagle on 13. Money in the bag. Your leader, Tom Jenkins, on 13, and that ball on a rope. It is in the hole. Jenkins ties a course record, shooting a 63 on the day to finish at -8. Gar Hamilton close behind with a 65 on the day to hold at -6.
Okay, you can breathe now. News 8 at 10 will be right back, but first a live look from our first Hawaiian Bank Tower Cam on this Aloha Friday.
Here's Grimm, the phantom second baseman. The delivery. Oh, he powdered that
one. Not all memories are kept behind glass. Some are stored in boxes at 5A Rent-A-Space. And now, get your own 5A space for just $5 a month. 5A Rent-A-Space. Your things mean everything to us.
Mike McKenna's throws open the doors of the biggest indoor car showroom in the state. No, it's not his Ford store. It's just 2 blocks down in Kailua. McKenna is hosting a 10-day doorbuster sale of new Volkswagens and Mazdas. The doorbuster prices are on the vehicles. Trucks, vans, SUVs, cars. The best prices in the state from the biggest showroom in the state. Look at the tags. $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 below the manufacturer's price. Volkswagens and Mazdas priced like never before. Go to McKenna's Windward Mazda Volkswagen store in Kailua.
They're an army of superhumans. These soldiers change the way warfare is conducted. Who never need sleep.
Not too bad for being awake 3 weeks.
Now, something deadly is putting them to sleep. Permanently.
It's not real.
Ron Perlman. Put us under the microscope. WWE's Hardcore Holly. And Girlfriends Persia White. Operation Sandman.
Saturday on K5, the home team. There were lights, cameras, and plenty of action in downtown Honolulu today.
Film crews are busy shooting some of the final scenes for Bruce Willis's new movie. Police shut down streets near the downtown post office during that shoot. The movie is called Tears of the Sun. In it, Hawaii doubles as West Africa. Without King Kamehameha.
Yeah, how do we get from Hawaii to West Africa? I don't know.
A Wimbledon update is coming up next.
Thanks for watching News 8 at 10.
Have a good weekend.
Good night.
Good night.